do you have anything to add about how a woman can remain healthy when she's dealing with high levels of stress?
Create time in your day for space to just be centered or reground yourself. So that could be 2 minutes of your time in your day, but I feel like the more you can train yourself to go back to self, the less stressed you'll be. So it doesn't need to be scheduled in your calendar, but if you notice you're starting to get antsy or frustrated, set everything down and just take a step back, breathe, or maybe bring meditation music or like Buddha Bar. I love Buddha Bar on Pandora.
Oh.
It's a station and it's just like chill vibes. Like
I have to follow that.
Yeah,
Buddha Bar.
Buddha Bar
Okay.
on Pandora. And Spotify has a lot of awesome stations too, but just find whatever that might be for you. Or maybe it's a mantra. Maybe at your desk you have a couple different sentences or sayings that you go back to bring yourself more present. I do feel like that's extremely helpful, especially if you do have a very stressful on-the-go day. Mm-hmm. Just, it's always, I do feel like coming back to self, making yourself number one priority. And you can't really go wrong doing that.
Can you tell me about your, I guess, best success story?
So when I saw this question, actually, I kind of laughed, just like I did, because, and almost get chills and butterflies, because I do honestly feel like every single client that walks in the door, everyone has a success story. One in particular, I've been working with a client now for 4 months, and she is early 40s. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, had a double mastectomy, and when she contacted me, she was about to get her last surgery, and so she had decided she was going to set up a trainer before the surgery. So after surgery, once she's healed, she can start to work on her body. And we just actually met last weekend, or excuse me, 2 weekends ago, for our 4-month kind of check-in, see where we are, goal setting. And, you know, with a lot of clients, we do measurements. So a lot of people think, well, success is based on how much weight you lose or how many inches you lose. And yes, I do agree with that. But what we exchanged in our consultation was not about numbers at all. It was about, she told me and actually wrote me a letter. She wrote down all of her goals, and she had said that when she had cancer, she had decided that the biggest thing she was going to live for was her girls. If she could just be a mom to, she has 2, they're 5 years old girls. And there were days where she could barely get out of bed. Her joints ached, everything. And she had decided, if just showing up for my girls, like, that's enough. And what she said in her letter was, over the last 4 months, she realized that, you know, she's been able to get off of all of her medications, which she never even imagined she'd be able to do. She's not achy. She's sleeping. That was a huge piece, was she couldn't sleep because she would think about everything that's going on, and her body ached. And now through the Tabata challenge that I'll tell you guys about later, she's actually committed to 4 minutes a day of doing something for her body, for herself. So her transformation and her story is so inspiring, because it's not so much about the numbers. It's about the journey that you go through. And she herself was the one that did all the work to get there. It wasn't me. So I'd say that stands out right now, just because it's been so impactful on her life, but also on my life and what I do as a trainer. And it made me really realize, you know, yeah, it's great. It is about the numbers, but at the end of the day, it's about really finding and loving yourself, and loving yourself enough to commit to wanting to get out of bed every day and wanting to see results and showing up for your children and your family and your husband. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that is the story.